Hey everyone, how are we all doing? Okay, so before we get started, everything I say in this video is my opinion, mine alone. Please feel free to do your own research, come to your own conclusions. With that being said, let's do this. Oh, and please do not attack, harass anybody in this video. It is simply not worth the time. And I'm sure you all got plenty to do with your time rather than be attacking or harassing anybody mentioned in this video. So, let's do this. Okay, so I was following the Summer Wells case pretty closely at one point, and honestly I had to back off because it was just too much. There was no real updates, there was nothing, yet you had 20 odd people still making videos repeating everything over and over and over again. So a couple of days ago I decided to try and get an update on what's been going on with the Summer Wells case. Sadly, 9 months later, Summer is still missing. But there's been an explosion in the amount of pages that are about Summer Wells. Now, I came across a couple of them which are batty. Fruitcake batty. So, I want to talk about a couple of them. So, there is one, and it's called Nana's Angels. She's got a video up, and it's titled, Was Summer in Foster Care? It gives an area, but I'm not going to put that out. She has questions. Questions like, why did Don and Candice wait until Summer was born to get married? Why did they get married so long after 4 kids? Maybe they weren't ready to get married. Maybe they didn't have the money to get married. I don't know, Batman, you think of a few reasons. And Candice didn't take on Don's name. So to them, that means that she didn't want to get married. What century do we live in again? When a woman can choose to keep her own name? When it was Summer's birthday, family from North Carolina were throwing a party for her. Apparently, Don called his probation office to see if he could go, and he was told no. But she says that Don didn't want to go anyway. No shit, Batman. I wouldn't want a party for my 5-year-old who's missing either. What are you going to do, fake smiles all day? Or cry into the birthday cake? Like, seriously, does this take a genius? Is this not completely and utterly ridiculous? I feel like people's intelligence is being minimized by these people. Like, who in their right mind would even set a birthday party for a missing child? Because I tell you what, if someone said to me they were going to give a birthday party to my missing 5-year-old, I would hit the roof. The only parties they'd be going to is their funerals. Summer is out there somewhere. She has to be. But nobody knows where yet. And I wish they would find her soon. So there was that one day, and then the next day then, she did a nearly 2-hour live stream. And a woman by the name of Single Mum of Four was co-hosting. Now, when I say co-hosting, Nana's angels could barely get a word in edgeways with her. And towards the end of the video, she was sort of, I'm hoping that I can come on as a regular co-host with you. Honey, if you want to lose your channel, you bring it up on part-time. You pull her up as a co-host. So single mum of four. She's angry. She lets you know she's angry. Now, I believe what happened to Summer was planned, premeditated, and all those peas. I mean, planned, premeditated. You know the drift. Planned, premeditated, all the peas. Really? Dr. Phil pretty much coddled the Wells. Sheriff Lawson chose to look the other way. I'm sorry for the way I feel, but I'm just angry at the situation. Honey, a lot of people are angry at the situation. This little girl hasn't been found yet. So she talks about going to the prayer meetings and that Don didn't want to be there. Again, no shit, Batman. The last place I want to be is in a group of people praying when my daughter could be brought to my front door at any moment. I'm not going to write the Wells off as guilty or not guilty until we can confirm whether they're guilty or not guilty. But these people on these pages, they've already written everybody off as guilty. We don't know what happened. And we can't assume what happened either. That is an extremely dangerous road to go down. Guilty by social media. But then is social media going to carry out the punishment? So that's that page. Now Hunter's father. He has a page talking all about Summer and Hunter. He said that Candace and Hunter did get up to things that would be illegal for Hunter, and things that could get Candace arrested. He says that he spoke to the police, and unless Hunter or Candace told them something happened, they couldn't do nothing about it. Somehow I doubt that's right. If a parent went to the police and said that a grown-ass adult touched my child, I highly doubt they would be saying there was nothing they could do about it. Highly doubt. Justice for All. Not a bad channel, like the others, 2 to 3 months old. Over 1K in subscribers because they're exploited in someone else's case. Now, Justice for All channel had the friend of the Wells and the Valleys, who Grandma drove to think it was North Carolina or South Carolina. And they done a 5-hour interview one day on the phone, and then the next day there was a 4-hour interview, all about the time that he spent with the Wells and at the Wells house. Now, he said he was there for 6 months, but other people have said he was only there for a month. One thing this guy did was bring Summer to life. People were asking what her favourite food was, her favourite flower, her favourite colour, what did she like to do to play. And he actually gave her life. And he told us more about Summer than anybody has until now. He says that he was off-grid for the last, I don't know how long, 2 years, I'm guessing. But the way he spoke about Summer, the boys, and Candace, there was love in that man's voice. There was passion in that man's voice. When you hear someone who talks about a person and they love them, you can hear it in their voice. You know how they're feeling just from the sound of their voice. When someone is that passionate about something, you'll know it. You wouldn't even have to see them, you would know it. And that man spoke with love, with passion. And he said so much about Summer. And you could hear it when he spoke about Candace too. And he feels that Candace is not the person she was back then. And he asked her, Candace, to tell the truth of what happened. So there was that. So that's 3 of the channels. Then there's this Jonathan Lee Richards, also known as JLR. Now, I believe he was with Molly Golightly. They pull up in a car, pull up in a street, and Hunter's mother, Alison, is there, Ali. Her mother and her grandmother, I believe. And they're all standing around talking in the street. Just standing in the street talking about everything Summer Wells. Now, I know that Ali, Hunter, and I believe Ali's mother done an interview on Chris McDonough's channel, The Interview Room. And I've watched that interview twice, 2 or 3 times, because I wanted to make sure I had everything straight during the video, I believe. I'm not sure if I ended up putting that video out, I may not have, but I was going to. The things that she comes out with these 2 now, Jonathan and Molly, they make claims of Don and Candace giving the kids drugs, alcohol, and they class weed as a separate thing. I don't know why it's still a drug. It's why it's illegal, apart from medically, that is. Ali denies that anything happened with Hunter and Candace, but the grandmother, she didn't like that. She argued with Candace. She was like, I know something did happen, blah, 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 blah. But then the great-grandmother, I believe, goes on to say that my granddaughter was inappropriately touched by Don Wells. Now, they're coming out with all of these things that the Wells had apparently done, yet they would still take the kids up there. I'm sorry, but if you know these things are happening, you make sure it's reported. And you never go anywhere near it again with your kids. If you have kids that have been inappropriately touched by an adult, to continue to take those kids to their house, take a breath and count to 10. You do not go back there again with those children. And you make every report you need to make until those kids in that house are protected. But I watched a good hour of Jonathan and Molly talking to Ali and her mother and her grandmother, where they went more in depth on what they've seen happening at the Wells house. Then you have this other channel, True Crime Exposed. Now, I've only seen one video on this, and they are interviewing Hunter, not Hunter's father. I'm getting so confused with all of these channels. And some of the things that he says is insane. Have you ever drunk blood? Have you watched a snuff movie? Now, you have to ask that question a couple of times before Andrew replies with, yeah, I've watched porn, hasn't everyone? And the guy goes, well, I haven't watched a snuff movie. And Andrew has a bit of a talk about going onto the dark web. That he wanted to experiment and just find out what it was and if he could find it. Personally, I don't want to look. I don't want to see what is on the dark web. I don't need that in my head. And then he went on to ask, have you ever taken part in a snuff movie? No. That is just too weird. What is with this kind of questioning? Where are you trying to take this? But a lot of these channels, they talk about just summer. They've been set up now 2 to 3 months. And their only topic is summer. And they get a fair amount of subscribers. All of the ones I just told you that are 2 to 3 months old now have over 1,000 subscribers. But they're all talking about the same thing. Summer. And only summer. But what they're talking about is pointless. All of a sudden, Summer was in foster care. They were living in a shelter under different names. There is so much. There are so many people exploiting the Summer Wells case. And exploiting is the right word for it. Because they're on there and they're milking it for every penny they can get out of it. And this is one of the reasons I will not concentrate on one sole subject, because I don't want to exploit anybody. I don't want my channel set up and built up exploiting one person. Summer Wells is a missing 5-year-old child. And these people are out just to make a quick buck. Including Hunter's father. I highly doubt he knows very much about the case, considering he lives something like in New York. This mother of 4, at a prayer vigil, she offered one of the boys a balloon, and Candace snapped. I don't blame her. If your daughter went missing, then a woman comes up to your son offering a balloon. Are you serious? Do you want all your teeth? Because I would have done more than blow. And this single mum of 4 was insulted. She was insulted that Candace didn't want her offering her child a balloon. Until this point, she'd never ever met the Wells. But she thought offering him a balloon was a good idea. I swear to God, if someone offered my child a balloon, and it's right after my other child had gone missing, my suspicions would be high. So high. I would have the police bashing that door in. Actually, scrap that. I'm going to her house and I'm going to bash the door in. Strangers who are offering a child a balloon could be strangers you need to look out for. We teach our children about stranger danger. If someone offers you sweets or a balloon, you say no and you run away. If someone asks you to help them find their puppy, you say no and you run away. These are the lessons we teach our children. These are the things we drum into their little heads. From the moment they can go out to play with their friends, or before. I say before, because you want your children to know the moment they go outside that door, they know how to be safe. They know who to look out for. So if you went up to Candace's little boy and asked him if he wanted a balloon, and Candace flipped on you, good for Candace. I don't know what happened to Summer. I wish I had the answers. But I can't say if the Wells are guilty or innocent. And they're innocent until proven guilty. And I'm sure that Sheriff Lawson, if he had a single reason to arrest the Wells on the Summer Wells case, he would have arrested them by now. Don may be arrested in jail for drink driving, but that's a different fucking thing altogether. Until there is some sort of evidence either way, they are innocent until proven guilty. Until the people exploiting this case, you're disgusting. As for Hunter's mother and the three interviews I've seen her do now, every time you try to kick Candace harder. Different stories every time. Your stories do not match up. Pick a story and stick to it. You hate Candace because Jose was in love with her, not you. And that's why you hated her. I'm not blind. I'm not stupid. And I'm a woman. You're so jealous that Jose was more interested in Candace than he was in you. And I'm sorry that that happened to you. But you've come up with 3 different stories now. Pick one and stick to it. A year Hunter is going through a hard time, and I'm not surprised. He was close to someone, he called her his little sister. I hope that he's well. And I hope that he's getting counselling. And I'm going to call this one a night. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to all the YouTubey things. Leave a comment, say hello. And hopefully you'll have a good Sunday. Good night all.